And dealing with the nephew, it was just the fact of also by him being young, he didn't have no kids. He basically he had a job, but he didn't have no place to stay, and he did not have no car. So that situation alone, it was kind of like I personally felt a certain type of way because it was kind of like I'm just at that age where I just was like, listen, allow him to live his life. You see what I'm saying? Like I wasn't being selfish. I just feel like, okay, he young. I dare not come into this situation and be like, you need to have this, and that. And he's still learning. Like when I was in my 20s, I didn't have all my stuff together, and I had kids with right along with the situation. So that was something that we was kind of like dealing with the young with nephew. Now this is where it comes into play. Nephew was always going to the studio talking about his auntie. Like he was like, yeah, his auntie. He's like, yeah, I'm going to the studio, watching out for my auntie. So then I started tripping because I'm like, hey, is he playing? Like, first of all, we ain't even link up to like go out on dates and stuff like that and do stuff. Now I done already went with like two or three, like we done went to like three events by then. Me and nephew ain't never went to an event because he was always working. I'm always working. But you got time to go to the studio and be up here with your auntie talking about you security, making sure ain't nobody putting nothing in her drink. So then I started kind of feeling like, oh, he must be dealing with a cougar and he trying to play me. Now listen, I was probably born at night, but I wasn't born last night. So when he was saying it, I was just like, okay. I wasn't saying he said it like at least three times, like on three different times when we was having a conversation, like, oh my bad, I was in the studio with my auntie, and oh, you know what I'm saying, I was gonna hit you back, but after I got off for work, I went with my auntie. So I felt some type of way. So I ain't gonna lie, I started getting my feelings because I was just like, first of all, he trying to play on my top and keep on talking about his auntie, but in reality, like this just weird how you're always at the studio now, and it was just the fact of you ain't even a pursuing rapper or nothing like that, but you over here playing security for your auntie, like you ain't got no uncles. You ain't got no, you ain't got nobody else. But he was like basically a registered fighter, like a boxer. So, in reality, if some do pop out, it nigga can really knock a nigga out real bing, 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 bing. TKO Bob and Weed. So hey, maybe she felt more comfortable with nephew. But in my mind, I'm thinking that on the back end it's a cougar. So let's I'm thinking he dealing with a cougar and you don't want to get caught up. That's what I was thinking. So okay, so fast forward, me and the uncle once again asked me out on another event. Like he was like, hey, you wanna go out this weekend? At this time, I ain't gonna lie, really, he pressure. You see what I'm saying? Like we done went out a couple of times, even though we went out as friends, but it was just so cool. Like he was a gentleman, like opening doors, you know what I'm saying, bringing me flowers, like it just became that I started to like see him in a different light. So it was kind of like it went from you a player from the Himalayas to oh my god, like he really could be just a cool down to earth dude. Because in reality, never mind you, we were so cool and open and honest with each other. I'm looking at him like in his phone. His phone's not ringing. You see what I'm saying? Like he's not like not on no player stuff. He had two phones, but it was just like it was always business. You see what I'm saying? Like nothing personal. And then on top of that, he was giving me his undivided attention. So it was kind of like I was like, dang, like he ain't even got to do all of this because we're not. So I was like, okay, cool. So it's like when you're not getting attention from the person that you like, I ain't trying to be funny. It's like a job application. It's like a temp service, baby. No call, no show, bye bye. You ain't showing up. And when a person, people gotta understand when you're dating, that's what you really need to take it as dating. And I ain't gonna lie, like my issue is when it came down to dating, like when I'm dealing with one person, I only deal with one person at a time. And I think that's the reason why it's so quickly for people to get in their feelings is because that when you're pouring or you're dealing with only one person, it's kind of like when they mess up or they end up not trying to be funny, you find out something that's with them, you feeling a certain type of way because but in reality you should have been dating. So anyways, how I found out about uncle. Me and uncle went on another date. And this was another event. Me and him, we at the table, we eating, we talking, and then next thing you know, he was just like, "Oh yeah, I gotta, get this money out so I can get to my sister because she's doing a music video." And I was just like, "A music video?" I was like, what? Because it's random. Not trying to say, but it's just a random for a female, for a female artist. For me to just to hear anybody speak on a female artist from, our town. So I was just like, what? He was like, yeah, she a singing, she's a, singing vocal coach, and she do a lot of stuff. He was just giving her stuff. Now, as he's saying this, I'm thinking about nephew because when nephew was telling me about the lady who I thought was a cougar, he was saying the same thing. He was just like, yeah, she's a vocal coach. She didn't taught this person, this person. She's working on this and this and that. And it was kind of like, here come uncle telling me literally the same thing about his sister. So I'm over here like, I put two and two. So I was like putting two and two together, and I was just like, wait a minute, some ain't clicking, some ain't clicking. So I was like, okay, cool. I was like, nah, you know what? Something ain't really clicking. It ain't make two plus two ain't making four. Well, it was, but I just couldn't add it up together. Anyway, so when he said that, I was like, okay, let me just test the waters. So then I was just like, oh, okay. I was just like, hey, he does a lot because he has like different businesses. So he know a lot of people from all over. So I was like, this show real people? He's like, yeah, his dad. Like he was just like, oh yeah, because my dad these days out here with all these kids. This is what I'm talking about. Putting your peen everywhere. Now everybody related because his sister was like, his half sister. So it was kind of like, that ain't the one my mama and dad had because they only had two kids. But she my half sister. So I'm like, oh my god. So he telling me the story. I'm over here like, can I ask you a question? He was like, yeah. I was like, do you know somebody by the name of da, da, da. I'm sorry, I showed my light. I was like I forgot how I presented it, but I presented it in a way where I was just like, do you know this particular person? And I think I kind of put nephew in a category like a boxer, like because I knew he boxed, so I was just like, do you know this person? Because I remember a while back ago I got a partner that his auntie da da da, and he was like, yeah, that's my nephew. I was like, you're what? He was like, yeah, that's my nephew. I was like, please. Oh my God. So